The more hits we play, the more hits we get. You are LRadio.net. Stacy Sturm, Stacy and her posse in the morning, and it's an after Election Day show today. All the results are in, and on the phone with me right now is our new representative, Kevin Kramer. How's it going, Kevin?
Hey, Stacy, it's going very well. Thank you. Good morning.
Yeah, congratulations on your big win over Pam Gullison last night, Kevin.
Well, thank you so much. It was very satisfying. It's always a relief when you get to this point just to have it over, but it was a very satisfying victory.
Now, did you ever think, after all the stuff that you've gone through in the past, that you would be at this moment where you are going to be taking off to Washington soon?
Well, it goes to show you don't ever think much, because a couple of years ago when I, what I thought for sure would be my last shot at the U.S. House race, and then lost at the convention and instead sought re-election to the Public Service Commission, I was quite certain that was the end of that. And, of course, things change. And when Senator Conrad announced he wasn't seeking re-election and Congressman Berg announced he'd seek the Senate seat, it created one more opportunity that I just felt that I had to at least take a shot at.
Now, there was a little bit of tension when you decided to skip the convention, but I believe the Republicans have gotten over it now.
Well, I think the vast majority of them have. There may be one or two holdouts, but no, it was some tension. It created some. It was never lost on me that there would be some tension and that there'd be some even some upheaval, if you will. But I also knew that and was quite confident in the long run it would be not only a good strategy for me, but that it would help pry open the doors of our Republican Party even wider and create a much larger, more comprehensive and inclusive party. And that really did happen. I mean, in many respects, part of my the opportunity that was presented me by having such a large lead coming into the summer was presented in large part due to the fact that I had just run a primary election, and that was sort of a slingshot into the summer season, if you will.
Well, too, and I think it opened up people's eyes to how the political system works, too, because until you did that, I think a lot of people had never even really known you could do that.
Yeah, well, it is funny because the funny thing about an endorsement, and this really became clear here in the last week or so, when we started, talking or listening to the discussion about the the superintendent of public instruction, Kirsten Basler and Tracy Potter, and the letter of support and of those fine distinctions of a letter of support versus an endorsement. The endorsement from a party, really, all that means is you don't have to get 300 names to be on the primary ballot. You still have to win the primary, and it's just that we traditionally haven't placed more than one candidate on the primary ballot. Yeah. So, I've been a student of it for a long time, and frankly, had favored the primary process, pretty much my whole adult life. Even back when I was chairman of the party, I wanted to do it because I really felt like we had the opportunity to invite more people into the party and into the process. And so in this particular situation, though, it was one that, of course, I'm not going to lie. I mean, it suited me quite nicely given my electability. And I thought, the best way to prove electability is to win an election. So I tried to do it in as respectful a manner as I could, Stacy, and of course announced before the conventions even began, and so that there'd be no illusion about it. So anyway, today, here we are.
Here you are. So is it surreal now? Are you, is your head filled with like 1,000 things that you need to get done between now and then?
Well, it's kind of daunting, to be honest. I mean, we still have a divided government, and that makes it more difficult. There's no question about it. But at the same time, I think that people are saying, hey, we expect you guys to get out there and find some common ground and move the ball forward a little bit for our country. We certainly want some economic recovery and get our arms wrapped around this budget deficit and debt. So, it is a bit daunting when I look forward, but at the same time, this is what I signed up for, so I'm ready to roll up my sleeves and go to work.
Well, now, if I remember right, too, now, the House, is that majority Republican now? It's the Senate that's Democratic, right?
That's correct.
Okay.
That's correct. And, of course, we still have Barack Obama in the White House. And I think one of there are going to be some big challenges, not the least of which is a very different vision for energy development in our country. And, the environmental protection and the various the degrees, if you will, of extreme that Barack Obama and his EPA believe in, and the area of more of a local or state jurisdictional process that we promote here at the state level.
Yeah.
And we're going to have to work through that. We're going to have to work through that very carefully, because much of the prosperity much of the prosperity for sure that we enjoy here in North Dakota, and much of the prosperity, the potential for prosperity in our country, rests with good energy policy.
So is that going to be your big focus, do you think, when you get in Washington, especially since you have such a good background in it?
It will be, Stacy. It's an area that I can contribute to immediately at a very high level, and would hope that, given that opportunity. It's also what, the North Dakota brand, if you will, carries with it that expectation. And I certainly want to maximize that at the national level. It also has such huge consequences for our state. But it's also relevant to agriculture and manufacturing and other industries that depend on a balanced regulatory regime. And so, yeah, it is an area that I expect to focus on, along with just the overall, focus of getting our budget debt and deficit under control.
Awesome. Well, I understand you're going to have a tiny little office, but it's going to be worth it.
I will tell you that I am trading down in terms of real estate. There's no question about that. But it's nonetheless, it's a work. I view it always. In fact, I always say this at the office, even in the state capitol. I refer to it as either the ranch or the factory or the shop, so that people don't get too heady about where we work. It's a heavy lift. It's important work.
Well, you keep up the good work, Kevin Cramer, and make sure you swing by North Dakota after you go to Washington a couple times and say, hey.
Hey, I will. There's no question about it. I have a lot of family here. My wife and my kids all will stay here, of course, and I'll do the commute thing, and it's still the people's house. And I think their founders knew exactly what they were doing when they designed it in a way that kept you accountable by making you tethered to a re-election every 2 years. It's
true.
The leverage that the voters have on the politician, and I believe strongly in it. And Stacy, also, one thing about me, and I think you know this, is I like to be accountable and I like to be transparent. And I love to talk on the radio or in person or wherever whatever the case might be. Some people think it's reckless. I've been told many times, lay low.
You're too honest.
Yeah. I said that's not me. And Napoleon once said the logical conclusion of defense is defeat, and I don't do defense very well. Nor do I think that does a service to the people that you work for. So anytime I'm given the opportunity, if we can work it out, I'd love to chat.
All right. Well, keep your cell handy then, Kevin.
There you go. That's good. That's good.
All right. Well, congratulations to you, and good luck in Washington. And I'm sure I'll see you before you head out.
I look forward to it. Thanks, Stacey.
All right. Yep. Have a great day.
You too. Bye now.
Okay. Bye.